Good late afternoon. I'm late, but you know what? I said, today I'm going to do this video, especially because I'm wearing one of my favorite styles, winter protective braid styles. What is that? So basically, you get your hair braided in the summertime. You enjoy your parts because the breeze gets to flow through your hair. You don't have to do anything. The humidity is high during the summer. All these things, right? So in the winter time, a lot of people don't get braids because they have parts in their hair. When they have parts in their hair, you don't want the cold air making you cold, right? So a lot of people avoid cornrows, things like that, braid extension styles. Now listen, there is such thing as winter braids, okay? Nobody's talking about it. So if you look at my hair, you see that you don't see very many parts because I've had my braids for a while, right? So when I went to get my hair braided, I had to say to the braider, listen, I don't want parts all through my head, but I don't want a billion braids in my hair. What can you do so that I can go into a winter protective style? So she said, and of course, I don't like my hair tight at all. Like no pulling, zero pulling. I'm a big baby. When it comes to any kind of pulling, don't do it to me. So anyway, I was giving her a hard time. And so she said, well, let me try knotless braids. So, there's knotless braids and then there's braids with knots. So she told me, I'm sorry, I messed it up. She wanted to do the braids with knots so that it could be looser, the braids with knots, okay. So I let her do the braids with knots, even though I like the look of the knotless braids, but they were a lot looser, and she purposely started them late and not so close to my scalp. So, honey, we love the children, but I'm trying to do some videotaping. Okay, so yeah, so she did do them loose for me, but I still had to wait maybe a week and a half to 2 weeks before they started looking older. So once they start looking older, that's really the look I'm going for. I don't like cold air blowing through my parts. So that's what you call winter braids. Now, my hair needs a break right now. I'm going to keep it probably braided through March. Take these out in a couple of weeks, do it all over again. But the sad part is that, because she doesn't braid it tight, it doesn't last as long. And then you're 2 weeks in before you start really loving it and before the parts close up. So I want to talk to you about how to take care of it. You probably could keep it for about 6 weeks before you need to redo it because, again, it's not braided very tight. So the first thing you want to do when you're doing your winter braid protective style, you want to make sure you wash the hair, bring your intense moisture therapy, your Fabulous intense moisture therapy. You need a really good moisturizer to lock the moisture in when you get the synthetic hair put in your hair, okay? Use this, don't use grease. A lot of people use grease, a lot of people use oil sheen. No, Fabulous intense moisture therapy. Take it with you to your braider. Once you get your braid put in, of course, you want to make sure you have a good oil for your scalp. Now, Fabulous, this particular dry scalp treatment is also just a topical daily solution. It doesn't have to be used as a treatment, but it's a preventative care product. It has all of our 13 essential oils in it. Use this as often as you need to. Now, because your scalp hasn't been pulled so tightly, your hair shouldn't itch as much. That's another great thing about getting your braids looser. So don't worry so much about keeping your braids forever because you really shouldn't be keeping your braids beyond 4 to 6 weeks because your hair is dirty and you should wash it. But I have something for that too. So the cleansing conditioning cream. So this comes in handy because this is how I actually clean my braids between washing. If you put your head in the sink and you scrubbing and all that, your hair is going to get very bushy. So how do you clean your scalp and your braids? So what you do is you take some of your cleansing conditioning cream, you just take a rag, a washcloth, a white washcloth, pour the cleansing conditioning cream on the cloth, use your finger and go through your scalp and clean the dirt and bacteria off of your scalp. Rinse the rag and then go do it again until you don't see any debris on the cloth. That's why you use a lighter colored cloth. Also, what you do is you put your cleansing conditioning cream. This takes the place of your shampoo and conditioner. Put it on and then just wipe it down your braid as well. Just like this, right? Conditions, softens, cleanses. You can keep your braids very clean this way. One of the things that makes braids look terrible as they get older is right here where the braid meets the root of your hair. Right here where the braid meets this part of your hair that's no longer braided, right here, this first inch. This little pocket right here, come kids, I wanted to make sure they see, this little pocket right here collects lint, dirt, all of that, right? But if you're keeping your hair clean and you're cleaning that part of your hair with the cleansing conditioning cream, you're not gonna have that buildup in there. Also, a lot of times the scalp area and the first inch of the hair tends to look kind of dusty looking, even though it's not. But that's because, you know, the hair hasn't been cleaned and you got product buildup. So if you do that, you can keep it clean. Now here's the very significant part. Obviously your edges are going to be looking crazy because you're going to have all of this hair sticking out here that looks like it needs to be done. I'm going to recommend, you know how I feel about edge gels. You don't want to suffocate your follicles, so use African Formula has a great one. They have a really good one. It's all natural. You put it on your edges, use a brush, and just brush your edges down, and it controls all the frizzy hair, and it makes it look very nice. And lastly, the movement. So of course, when you're, I'm going to take my bun down, but when your braids get older, you know they're really stiff when you first get them done. When they're older, they move more like hair. So see how I can put it up, I can pull it up like this. I actually like to be able to do that the day I get it braided, but it hurts too much even when they're loose. So I still have to wait to be able to do all of those things. So I hope you learned something today. When you go to your stylist, this is kind of a thing. Like it's not really acceptable yet to say I want old braids when you go get your hair braided. So maybe just tell them, you know, I just want them as loose as you can possibly do them, and then you can look forward to not seeing your scalp and enjoying your braids during the winter time. All right, I hope you're able to check out our products at fabulox.com. All of our products are for sale at fabulox.com, and you can get African Formula products from their website. All right, have a wonderful day. We'll see you again soon.